This is a bit of a disturbing story. When I see some of the issues going on with the industry and people still being panicked, first of all, how the hell does the media panic themselves while they panic everybody else? I don't get how they do that, but they do. And that tells you when they don't have any trust in themselves. First of all, and let me put it to you like this too. When it comes to print and digital media, think about it like this. These people don't even know how to run their businesses to make a profit. They asked for help from the government. They asked for it a couple of weeks ago. If they don't know what they're doing to keep their ship afloat, why the hell would you trust them at all to give you news that you care about? Well, I understand, in some cases where they might be struggling a little bit and they're trying to go and make money, but really, they're worried about advertising and they're worried about trying to make money, but they have to be able to go and work for their audience. And they have to be doing right by their audience by honestly giving good reporting without bias and putting more information out there, but they're not. And that's a big problem. That's what the story talks about. So heading after the pandemic, media leaders are weighing in. Here's what they're talking about. So publications are reshaping distribution. This is local, by the way. Advertising, staffing, community engagement, and for a number of local dailies, alternatives, weeklies, and free publications, the pandemic could be extinction level. Well, look, because of what's going on from the top down, it's trickled down panic because of the fact that the national news, the corporate news, which is so backed up, they can go ahead and do whatever the hell they want and really screw up everybody else when it comes to local journalists, citizen journalists, and the kind of money that needs to be brought in to get them on board. It's tough for them, but they're not able to do much about it, and that's what the problem is. That's how it comes down to. So the local media association's chief strategy officer Jed Williams, he said, quote, "This is the perfect example of all news is local. We all need to be very much in touch with what's going on around us." So there's been a lot of markets that are struggling right now. Some of these companies are being managed by debt-laden hedge funds, slashing staff, cutting print frequency, cutting costs, well before COVID-19 came into play. So local and family-owned outlets are also dealing with the same problem. No advertising dollars, and the circulation's dropping. Well, part of the thing is they didn't prepare for themselves to be digital and to make a good digital advertising model for themselves. And that's number one. Number two is they weren't prepared for, a rainy day. Things are going to go wrong. Radio's in the same spot, and there's other media entities that are doing the same thing right now. And so you have people that are out there that are trying to help right now to help build, trying to get journalism back up. Facebook, if you didn't remember, was it last year? They put up $1 million in grants for local U.S. and Canadian organizations to cover the coronavirus, and there was also others that offered $5,000 parcels as grants. So Williams also says we have to serve the information needs of the communities more effectively with greater speed and clarity than ever. But we have news organizations that are resource-strapped, time-starved. So what are they going to do? They're going to go to Associated Press? They're going to go to national coverage because they can't cover local. They don't have the bodies. So knowing what's going on in your neighborhood, we have to rely on social media for that. We can't even get proper reporting. So everything that goes along with what's going on here trickles down. The distrust of the corporate media establishment has caused this problem. So most European publishers, the difference they're dealing with right now is they're not opening their paywalls to coverage. Most North American publications are, because they're just trying to get people to go and follow along and say, hey, you could trust us for our coverage, and then going afterwards, we hope you'll continue to trust us. So in this story, once workplaces are right size, once they know what our priorities are, once they know what their business models are, they need to settle into a new normal when a number of publishers are going to start adjusting their paywalls up or down. Well, my thing is I think news aggregators are going to be the ones that will be doing the most to bring people to these newspapers, to these publications, to these websites. Nobody else is going to. So what you need to do is work with aggregators that can help bring and bridge the traffic to you, to your advertisers. You can't do it on your own. You have to go ahead and pay for ad time or do a share with a news aggregator that's offering full bias. They can see full bias, you can see full location, you can see full gamut of coverage. And hopefully they're going to go and pick your publication for objective, unbiased coverage that's proper and it's accurate and it's local. It's to the market that you're serving. If you're trying to get that, that's something you can try to do. And you can get a news aggregator like an allnews.com, allsides.com rather, or ground.news to go ahead and do that for you and bring everybody on front. And hopefully that'll help. That's what's got to be done. And we're looking at some of the problems of the issues of the trust, which I talked about before. And you got to look at what's going on here and say to yourself, look at all the issues they're dealing with. When you look at their problems, let me get the actual image over here so I can show you this instead. And when you look at what's going on, they're in a tough spot. So news media has a negative effect on the U.S. And this is the thing that the local digital and print media outlets have to work with. Okay, look at what's going on here. A percentage of who says there's a negative or positive effect on what's going on in the country. Remember, people don't trust the national news media. 64% do not trust the media. 25% do. And then there you have the same problem compared to other things like large corporations, banks, colleges and universities, technology companies, churches, labor unions, and the like. So again, corporate entities, no trust. And the corporate entities run the news media, 6 major companies. That's not good. And when news is perceived in such a large scale, then the rest of the news media is hurting instead. That's a big problem that they're all dealing with. And what are you going to do about that? I guess I would prefer crowdfunding journalism, but I'd say news aggregation and trying to find a way to get you out there. A lot of SEO work. Whatever you have to do to bring people to the websites, to what you're doing. And, I don't think you can charge for circulation anymore. I don't think you can get that kind of coverage. I mean, first of all, I don't know if you can do any more trying to just shoot papers out and have people go and pick them up. Maybe print circulation is not in the cards. So I don't think a paywall works either. Something you got to do to change things up. I don't know what that's going to be, but this is where the local media and the smaller time media, they need to fight back with the national corporate media establishment because they are hurting from top down. That's just how it is. So it's time to take action.